Hello again everybody, RegiTime here again with another episode of us playing some 10L Snap and just keeping things simple and trying to break things down in a simple way. If you're enjoying what we're doing, please hit the like, share, subscribe, comment, all of those things. And if you want to see more of me, you can catch me on Twitch most evenings from like 11 PM onwards. The link is beneath the video. And if you're not a complete dickhead, then please feel free to join the poker group. That's linked below to the Facebook poker group. It's growing all the time too. I'm really big on trying to build some decent poker communities on YouTube, on Twitch, and especially on Facebook. So please do come along and get involved. If you're a bit of a dick and you like trolling people and being generally unpleasant, then don't. But the rest of yous, you're all more than welcome. Yeah, so we're just going to continue the theme of the first two videos, which is just trying to keep things simple. And when we are in spots that require a bit of thought, trying to explain my thought process in a way that makes sense to a bunch of people, and not for example, I was thinking before when you're on the river faced with a tough call, and you're told and you're taught right, you've got to count all the bluff frequencies, you've got to count the value combos, you've got to count the bluff combos they can have, and then try and make a decision whether to call or not. That's really hard to do in the short amount of time that we have. It's you want to get better at it by trying to break hands down as we go, as we're going through. But it's really hard to say, oh well, this guy's got fucking 25 combos of value and only 10 combos of fucking bluffs and stuff. It's really hard to try and nail that down quite specifically. A lot of the time it's just a matter of just feel, if you will. And feel's the wrong way to describe it, but if you think someone's bluffing a reasonable amount, if you think there's tons of draws that have missed so we can have a few bluffs, then you might think about calling. And if you think there isn't, then you might think about folding. You don't have to think specifically about how many combos he's got. It's just a lot of the time what price am I getting. Usually a simple rule of thumb is the bigger the bet, the tighter we should fold. The more hands we should fold, the smaller the bet, the more hands we should call. That's kind of a good rule of thumb. It's not super scientific, but it's a pretty decent rule of thumb. So if you're facing a small bet and tons of draws have missed, then you can bluff catch pretty light. If you're facing a large bet and the board's pretty dry, then you can maybe think about folding and only calling with someone the top of your range. Just little bits and bobs of things like that, and people start thinking about combinations here, left, right, and centre, and what have you. And I think a lot of the time, much as the things people are saying is it's impossible. It's utterly impossible to say no, don't think about that stuff. That's not good advice. Because it is good advice to say you need to be considering these things. I think it's also bad advice because a lot of people expect that they're supposed to do it right there and then at the table and be able to do it. And lots of guys just aren't that good at that. They don't have the maths down in their head. I know I don't have it all down for sure. Combinatrix is something that just doesn't appeal to me. Mathematics in general doesn't appeal to me. And I think people, a lot of that stuff, it takes a human element out of the game as well. I mean, if you are a read on somebody, you think you do, or if you think someone has a particular style against you, or things like that, and there's all these things that come into account too. And I think sometimes the game's gone a bit too scientific for many recreational players, in my opinion. And we're going to try and break through that a little bit with this series of videos. Gut shot here. We're not getting the right price to call, but I mean, we're going to make some money if we do hit, we hope. Pretty good turn card. He's bet pretty quick. I'm pretty confident he has an ace here at least, maybe something slightly stronger. So we're not going to raise, we're just going to call and try and improve. We do improve to the floor, she checks. We have the third nuts here. What can call, or can worse flushes call here? That's the question we need to ask ourselves. Does he just still call with an ace? Ace 10 sets. I'm going to bet fold. He's not going to raise a worse hand ever. Oh, well, not ever. We shouldn't say ever, but it's super, super, super unlikely he's going to raise a worse hand. And we got our read spot on again there. He just flopped 2 pair. We had a kind of speculative call on the flop. We made a very standard call on the turn, and then we got some value on the river. And I know tons of guys who would just check back there, oh, we only have the third notes, he can't call with worse, etc. That's like the guy who came to me from the well-known coach. There's not a chance he would have value bet that river when he first came to me. Now I would hope that he would. And there's a lot of like players that have just been like, the modern approach to poker's hurt their game for sure. The modern approach to studying poker's hurt their game. Maybe it's turned people off studying, or they've studied it and they're misapplying things. I think just stripping it back, keeping things relatively simple, it's going to work really well for lots of micro-stakes players. I have tons of success with people by just like, they come to me with all these like things you think they should know, and they've got like a relatively poor understanding of it. I just kind of like, just forget that for now. Forget it. Let's just strip the game back. Let's try and keep it simple, and let's just get the basic rules in place, which is, you know, we're going to value bet really well. We're going to try not to pay off where possible, and we're only going to bluff in like spots where we think, you know, we've got a good success, a good chance of like the bluff getting through. We've been dunked into here pretty big. I mean, super easy call on the flop. Doesn't donk the turn. I think this is one where we're going to bet turn and maybe just check back river. Don't like this situation now with two pairs. Tons of ways we can be beat. Jack 10, Ace King, Ace Queen, sets. Our hand at this point is just like literally a pure bluff catcher, in my opinion. Instinct saying fold here versus his bet size. Means value hands we beat King Queen, Queen 9. I mean, against a fish state I think we call, but Ellen will be one of the better players in the pool, not making too many mistakes in that situation. I mean, if he or she's bluffing me with kind of a really decent draw, then so be it. So Kyoto here is like donked out half pot. It's a spot where I will make a raise, I think. I mean, a lot of times players are just like donk pocket sevens here, see what's happening in pocket sixes. Forced to fold to a raise. I don't think too many players are donking 8x. Hit the ace, the pot's fucking huge. This is a situation we described in early videos. So sometimes people get to the rivers with hands that, like, the pot's too big. I mean, this pot's too big really right now for top pair. I mean, we can't value bet this now for sure. We've got like, what, an SPR of 2. Any bet we make commits us, and if we bet any raises, we're just going to be fucked. Absolutely fucked. But we can maybe think about calling some river bets. Excuse me. I don't think he donks 10s full. I don't think he donks 8x. Can we raise fold this river? What's going to call if we raise fold? If we raise. This is really weak, I think, but we're just going to call. I think I don't think we get much value from anything. You just had queens. Interesting that he didn't 3-bet pre, then just like donked dry board. Not a typical line you would expect to see. Because we don't block top pair here, we're going to just like bomb the turn. Definitely call with King X. You can have tons and tons of draws here. That is a fucking appalling river. Literally, like 10 jack gets there, diamonds get there. I mean, we can try and bet, I guess. Try and get called by King Queen, Ace King, King Jack. This is a spot where we just bet pretty small and don't enjoy getting raised. I think I'm betting small here is better than check calling. I'd rather bet fold this size than check call a bigger size, I think. I mean, if he jams, we just have to fold. I mean, I don't think he's jamming King Queen. Don't think he's jamming pocket 8s. He raises. It's just whatever. Absolute trivial fold there. But I'd much rather bet fold, get value from King Queen, Ace King, King Jack, than check call a larger bet and just lose most of the time. It's disappointing, but I mean, that queen of diamonds, like literally one of the worst rivers we could have imagined seeing, unfortunately. Don't want to just check fold though. Check fold is just too weak, especially when we can still definitely get value if we choose the right size. Fucking hell, my phone's vibrating a lot. Fuck off, leave me alone, whoever the fuck you are. It's nothing. It's nothing. Chill out, Reggie. Chill out, Reggie. We do with the ace-5 suited here. We're in a situation where we're clearly going to be dominated by his 3-betting range. And it doesn't matter anymore because the cold 4-bets come in. And but wheel aces, I mean, they can play pretty well post flop. They likely have like 30% equity within position. We can flop well. Again, with the fish in the blind, we're going to just assume that we're not going to get squeezed very often, and we can take a flop up when this dude comes along too. A lot of people are like, oh, only 3-bet or 4 from the small blind, and by and large that's good advice. But if you have like a potentially passive fish in the big blind, then you can certainly call with some of these types of hands that can make some nice hands against fish. The question here is, do I think I need to bluff or not? Or do I think we have enough showdown value with our 8? Can I check call a bit here? If I can check call, then I think that's what we'll do. If I don't think I can check call, we check here. He's going to have enough bluffs to call versus a smallish bet, I think. And if he bets and we lose, we're going to lose to like pocket 10s, pocket jacks, pocket queens without a spade. Don't think he checks back too many flushes on turns. I mean, obviously we lose to a 7 now, but I think he bets a 7 on the turn too most of the time. I'm going to call here. I think he's going to have like enough, like just miss spades and things. I think it's like a 7 bets a turn surely, a flush bets a turn surely. And if I'm wrong, then I'm wrong. And that's what I mean. We talked about like counting combinations of bluffs earlier. I didn't count combinations of bluffs there. I was just thinking of like, right, well, and what does his value range look like here? I mean, of the ranges of value betting now, how many of those hands don't bet the turn? And when I like broke it down, I thought, well, there's not many hands here that value bet the river that don't value bet the turn. You know, maybe he's just like improved to a set of 9s or something on the river, but I very much doubt he checks back a flush. Very much doubt he checks back a straight. So therefore, you know, maybe our 8's good, and if it isn't, then we lose a pot. It's not the end of the world. We lose a smallish pot, but there's some spots there where I wouldn't dream of check call on the river, but his line just wasn't particularly convincing as like a value line. Bet flop, check turn, bet river. On that particular run out didn't make sense as like value. Sometimes he might just be being really good. If he's like a really good player, he might just thin value bet queens there. That's like pot control the turn, and if he does, then fair play. He just fucking schools us for a hand. Not the end of the world. What the actual fuck is this sizing all about? I mean, I remember this guy used to be good. I've fucking no idea what's happened to him. But when I first started playing against this dude, we were playing like fucking 100-0 full ring cash games and some 200-0 full ring cash games. And now he's doing weird shit like this at 10-0. It's just, I don't know. Don't know what the fuck's happened to him. It's a shame, but never mind. Guess we just keep calling down here with our ace jack. I mean, there's ways we can be beat, of course, but it's just way too strong to fold. And now we fill up and we have the second nuts. I mean, we lose to like literally ace queen here and nothing else. Problem is when we make it 41 and he jams, he probably just has ace queen and nothing else. I mean, maybe he jams jacks, maybe he jams queens too. I mean, we can't fold if he jams, we just have to take our medicine and call, and they expect to see ace queen a lot. We can't raise fold this. But when he does, the problem is when we can't raise fold, but when he does jam, he's just going to have ace queen a lot. But I guess he's also going to have pocket jacks and pocket queens that sometimes jam as well. Although I expect those cards will mostly, well, those hands will mostly just call when we raise. This is the pot size open. We're just going to fold king queen from the small blind. Just thinking of a size here. I've got like 8 or 7.7 is close enough. And any of these guys behind, I think 3-betting or calling can be appropriate in this situation. But I don't really like 3-bet bluffing versus people with the fish tag too much. I just don't think we have as much fold equity as we'd like, and I'd rather just try and take a small flopping position and go forward from there. Against a regular, I think it's a decent hand to 3-bet, but not against a fish who's just going to, in my opinion, be a bit too cally with hands we'd rather have them folding. You see betting to 2 players, we used to have a backdoor flush draw, not much else going on. Chances are he's making us fold a decent chunk of equity here, but it's 15 blinds. I mean, obviously when he's got ace, king, ace, queen, he's had a great result with us folding 9s. But sometimes people just get to win when they do stuff like that. I think like calling's not nice. Like 4-betting seems really fucking horrible against an unknown in these games, which we kind of know are pretty passive. Let's stab at a gut shot here. Sometimes we can pick up a spade on the turn and continue with aggression also. Other times it would just get 2 folds. The 10's a pretty bad card to barrel. It's not going to make you fold an ace still, and he can have lots of 10x in his check call range, so we're done with it unless we spike a king. And we do not spike a king. Chances are he's either going to bet here when he's got a good ace or a 10, and he's going to check. I mean, we could try bluffing here. I go for this spot a lot, and then people just look me up with like ace 7 and ace queen and ace jack and stuff. So we're just going to not try and bluff here. I mean, it's going to be a shame when he has like, I don't know, king queen of spades that we could possibly make fold, or he's just floated the flop with like pocket 7s randomly. But by and large, I don't think this is a particularly good bluff spot. Yeah, and he probably wouldn't have folded that hand. Sometimes you've got to just know when giving up. It's like the last time when we called down with a 10-8. We don't really tell a particularly credible line there. And I would take that same line with like ace x, but I would value bet. Just say we had like an ace jack or something there. I might sometimes check back that turn and then value bet the river, but I haven't got very many hands at all that want to take a check bet line there. So if you haven't got very many value hands, we don't really need to worry about putting too many bluffs in there either. Eights are likely to be the best hand here, but I think he's going to play better as a check call, and it is a value bet. Situation I was talking about earlier, like you bet here flop, say 6 blinds and he calls, and then there's like 22 blinds, and you bet the turn for like 12 blinds, he calls, and there's like 44 blinds in, and you get to the river in a 44 blind pot and you've just got a pair of 8s. Situation tons of people like manufacture for themselves, and this way we allow him to sometimes value bet worse hands, sometimes bluff, and while he keeps betting this small, we could some pretty comfortable call situation. We've now got to the river now where there's only 20 odd blinds in the pot, and we can consider check calling rather than what if we got bet. We force him to a narrower range because he's got to call twice, so he's not going to have anywhere near as wide a range, and so we get out of position versus a stronger range in a bigger pot. It's a situation you don't really want to be engineering for yourself. Whereas we just got him to, I mean, he's clearly a fish. We just got him or her to, probably her actually, to just like not play particularly well and make some small mistakes against us that they wouldn't have made had we bet, or you would expect they wouldn't have made. Again, it's just keeping things really simple, not complicating things, not backing ourselves in or painting ourselves into corners by just like making bets or just try and win the pot. We've got pocket 8s on 9xx, don't want to see any bad turn cards, bet, oh fuck it's called, and it's a deuce, bet, oh fuck it's called again, and that fucking pot's huge, and we've got pocket 9s in a 50 blind pot, or pocket 8s, and it just turns into a massive clusterfuck, doesn't it? Just keep it simple, don't worry about it. Sometimes people might bluff, other times you might end up like allowing them to pay you off a little bit in spots where they wouldn't. It's all reciprocal, isn't it? I mean, sometimes we let people get there where with hands they would have folded, other times we get bluffs from hands they would have folded. So I mean, it swings and roundabouts. I don't tend to worry too much about that type of thing. I actually genuinely think though, like my general like approach to life and poker really helps me as a poker player, because I think we can all agree technically I wouldn't be like the best poker player in the world, not by a long stretch. I think I've got good solid fundamentals, but I'm not going to say I'm like really well studied in the finer points of the game. I'm chilled out as fuck. I rarely tilt. I get annoyed like the rest of us do. I'm not going to pretend I'm like some fucking Buddha, but I rarely tilt. Pretty chilled. If I make a mistake, something bad happens, and I'm a bit of a pisser, but whatever. And that like really helps me. And it's something I try and like pass on to the people I work with too. It's just fucking poker. You know, if we make a mistake or we make a series of mistakes, or we have like a bad session where we drop like 5 buy-ins, none of it's the end of the world. It doesn't define your life. It doesn't define you as a poker player. I think people just get a bit too uptight. I mean, the poker community might be one of the most uptight fucking communities that I've ever been involved with, and that people searching for perfection when you're searching for something that probably can't be found, and then they get annoyed. Like, they're not always making perfect reads, making perfect decisions. They second guess every time they lose a pot. They're like looking for like, why did I lose that pot? You know, like, what should I do differently next time? Sometimes there's nothing you can do differently. You're just programmed to lose, but players will still try and find a reason why they lost. And did I do something wrong? I must have done something wrong. I've just lost 100 blind pot. I must have done something wrong. No, just chill the fuck out a bit. Chill your beans. Enjoy yourselves. was a mistake. Well, it wasn't a mistake because we've got queens and we 3-bet somebody, but I wasn't paying attention. And it could easily have been a mistake. Being really deep with ego here is a slight problem, but we just have to let RegiTime to isolate. Probably isolating ourselves against a range of kings plus an ace king, but let's go. Fortunately, he had jacks in his range too, which I wouldn't always expect everybody to have. We talked about this earlier. I'm not a big fan of opening these hands. It's kind of just, for me, it's just I see it as a pure steal. Nothing more than that. I'm not opening it for value. I'm hoping they fold when I make the raise. Not in love with my top pair, no kicker when it goes bet call, but too early to go finding a fold yet. I think we'll be finding a fold on this turn though. River 2 pairs with a super easy bet fold. Time does fly making these videos. 28 minutes already. Does not feel like 28 minutes. Easy check back. Easy call turn. Decide river. Probably going to fold on that one. I think we're going to lose a lot here, but we have decent showdown value. Doesn't value bet the flush on the end, which I think is a pretty big mistake from his point of view. So yeah, we're going to play around to the blinds, and I'm not sure I'm going to make another video yet. I'm going to see what's going on. If my man Shroom's streaming, we're going to go and watch him for a bit. If he's not, we'll probably make another video. If you like chilled out streams of people playing these stakes, do go and find Shroom the River on Twitch. He normally streams around lunchtime 5 days a week. Do go and check him out. You will definitely enjoy his content. It's a session that never ends, this one. When are we going to be sitting out? I guess now. I hope you enjoyed it. Any questions, comments, thoughts, please do share them. And if you haven't hit the like or the subscribe button yet, please do so now. And we'll see you again soon with another video. Bye for now, everyone.